Hello, everyone. I'm Miss Kat. I'm one of the occupational therapists, in addition to Miss Sarah and Miss Pamela at Maiden Choice School that work with your kiddos. I hope you guys are doing okay and hanging in there through these tough times. But for right now, I wanted to share with you some attention and positional strategies that you can use during fine motor activities with your kids. In school, these fine motor tasks would be coloring, writing, cutting, gluing, doing puzzles. And at home, it probably looks the same. It might also include feeding, but it's coloring and sorting and doing puzzles and cutting. Anything really where you're pulled up to a table and you're using your hands. So let's start with the importance of having somewhat of a clutter-free work area. And I know in my house with 3 kids, especially with all of us home, finding a surface without clutter is really hard. So I understand that. And you'll see when I show my little video with my son how I just cleared off a teeny space that's clutter-free. So I understand that that part's hard. That being said, having a workspace for them where it's not too visually distracting. If your child is in a wheelchair, you want to pull them up to the table. You want to make sure that their footrests are down and that their feet are resting flat on the footrests. You want to tilt that wheelchair up so that they're sitting upright to increase their attention and their arousal. If your student sits in a normal chair, you want to make sure that they're sitting in a what's called a 90-90-90 position, and that means that their hips are at 90 degrees, their knees are at 90 degrees, and their ankles are at 90 degrees. And the importance of this is that having the stability and the control in your larger trunk and core muscles enables the smaller muscles in your arms and your hands to move more freely and in a controlled manner if you have that stability at your core. So once you've established that, and if if you don't have a desk and a chair that fits your student just right, so that they are in that position with their feet touching the ground and their back touching the back of the seat, then you can use things in your house to help you out. Like right now, my son is at the dining room table in a regular dining room chair. So, seated with a pillow behind him, just a throw pillow from the couch. He can use a footstool under his feet. You can use a shoebox. You can use phone books. Are phone books still a thing? I'm not sure. I think I've dated myself. But you can use books stacked up under his feet. But the idea is that those feet are flat on the floor and the back is up against the back of the seat. That also gives them that proprioceptive feedback along the whole backside of their body, which is helping them feel grounded and to feel where they are in space instead of just dangling, with their legs dangling and their back sitting without it up against something. So another thing that you can use is, with coloring and with tracing or writing, is you can use a slanted surface. At school, we do have slant boards, but in the home, you can use like a 3-ring binder turned on its side and just tape the work right on top of the binder so that they have that bit of a slanted surface. What that does for them is it increases their visual attention to the task by bringing it upright closer to them. It also promotes wrist extension and better control in their grasp when they're holding that crayon or that pencil. You want to make sure whenever they're doing anything at the table, again, this could be eating, this could be doing a puzzle, anything using their hands, that both arms are up on the table. Even with a right hand or a left hand dominance and they're using that dominant hand, you still want that non-dominant hand up on the table, either stabilizing what they're doing, so holding on to the paper while they're coloring, or holding the paper while they're cutting, but to have both hands up on the table, because that really incorporates both sides of the brain, the left side of the brain controlling the right side of the body, and the right side of the body, brain controlling the left side of the body. Their grasp on their writing utensil. So if they tend to have a weaker grasp, you can use a larger writing utensil. So you could use one of those like jumbo crayons, which helps. You can also, you know, we don't have any built up handles in the home, but you can use, I just took Play-Doh and put it on the pencil, and you can use that as your own little built up on a standard pencil. You can also take rubber bands. These are just like the rubber bands that come around the broccoli bunch, and you can wrap a few rubber bands around a pencil, and that gives a nice visual indicator too of where to hold the pencil, and it provides a kind of a resistant grasp and gives them something to hold on to. If they're having a tough time and they tend to use all of their fingers on the writing utensil, you can have them use something little. You can do dice, you could do little erasers, and have them hold them in the palm of their hand using these 2 fingers to hold on to the little items while these 3 fingers write. If they have an immature grasp, which is what I like, using all 5 fingers in sort of that fisted grasp, or maybe they hold it like this in a digital pronate grasp, you can try using let's see, a broken crayon. So something like this, they wouldn't be able to hold it in that fisted grasp or like this. So it really promotes that more mature grasp. Let's see. Scissors. Wyatt, will you hand me the scissors, buddy? So for scissors, if they're cutting, we don't have any of our adaptive scissors at home, I'm sure, like I use with some of the kids at school. But if you want to do a little bit of cutting, you always want to make sure that it's in that thumbs up and elbow in position, so that the thumb is in the top of the hole and that their elbows are down at their sides. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like to be in the 90-90-90 position. So Wyatt, I'm going to have you scoot your bottom back. Yep. So this is Wyatt, and Wyatt has a throw pillow behind him, and he's got a footstool to keep his feet flat because the dining room chair is way too big for him. But he could also use a shoebox, or he could use a stack of books, and then he's pulled up to the table. And a lot of the times before sitting and doing a fine motor task, you know, one thing you can do is on the kids' Schoology page is the motor warm-up that we do when OT comes to the room. We do a motor group and we do a motor warm-up followed by a fine motor task. And the purpose is to help them increase their attention and focus before sitting to do a tabletop task. So you can do that motor warm-up that's on Schoology in the OT section. Another thing you can do is a midline crossing task. So Wyatt, will you hold the container? So you can spread a bunch of, just hold it down on the table. There you go. You can spread a bunch of, you know, guys or Legos or whatever you've got at home, and you can spread them out on the table and have your child hold a container in one hand and then use their other hand and put the items into the cup. So this way, keep going. You can put them all in. This way, he is incorporating bilateral integration by using both hands together. One is a stabilizer and one is a manipulator. And he's also crossing midline. So he's gathering up the items from the table and he's reaching across midline to put them in the cup. And you can have him, can you do it with the other hand too, Wyatt? So now he's holding the cup with his other hand and putting the items in. So that's a good little quick, 1 minute warm up before doing like a pen and paper task. All right, great. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. I'll be posting some more activities to do, but take care. Miss you. Bye.